Welcome to the Rove Podcast. I'm your host, Anna Roberts, and I am joined by an incredible table of female entrepreneurs in front of me here today, all connected through the community of Female Fusion. I'm in fact joined by the founder of Female Fusion with me as well, Jen Blandos. Good morning.
Good morning.
We also have some wonderful entrepreneurs here. I'll let you both introduce yourself. We have Janaika and Houda as well. Janaika, please tell me where you're from this morning.
Yes, so good morning. I'm Janaika Elders, and I'm the founder and owner of Urban Nest, which is a home decor and interior store based in Dubai.
And Houda?
Good morning. I'm Houda Naji, and I own Younoh Media. It's a digital agency based out of Dubai, and we do anything that is related to your online presence, including the metaverse.
Oh, fantastic. We will hear a little bit more about your entrepreneurial journeys and your connection with Female Fusion in just a moment. But Jen, I want to hear from you. You have an incredible array of business experience across the world, in fact. You've called Dubai home now for a number of years, and Female Fusion is your other child apart from your own children. So tell me more about the founding moments of Female Fusion and kind of the journey it's been on in the last few years.
Yeah, so Female Fusion started as a Facebook group, and then in the pandemic, we realized that so many people needed extra support. There was a lot of women who had lost jobs and realized that maybe setting up a business was the next step for them, or also women who had businesses and didn't know what to do when all of a sudden business completely dropped. And I was one of those businesses as well. I used to own a training company for close to 20 years, and all of a sudden went from having 7 figures to no business within about 48 hours. So it was a big period over then. And what we saw is that it needed to be more than just a Facebook group. And so I took that from a Facebook group and turned it into a licensed business. And so now we are a licensed professional network serving not only female entrepreneurs in the UAE, but globally now as well.
Incredible. And obviously you touched there upon the trouble of the COVID pandemic and the different challenges that we all face throughout it. Now that we're moving out of that period of time, we're entering a new economic environment. What are some of the challenges that you see that female entrepreneurs, specifically here in the UAE, actually face?
In the UAE, it's arranged depending upon what phase you are in your business. And one of the things that we focus on in Female Fusion is that we are a community for all women, whether you are just starting out or you have been in business for decades and you have a 7-8-figure business, that we all need support and connections and help on some level in our business. So the businesses that are starting out are kind of like any new business, just trying to navigate what it's like to have a business and how you can turn a profit. And so we have a number of resources, tools, masterclasses, and support that helps women in that, all the way up to businesses who have been around for a number of years, 7-figure businesses, 8 figures, who are struggling sometimes with access to finance and funding or getting access to contracts. Because one of the things that we've noticed globally is that unfortunately, being a woman and having a business, that there is not equality as much as we would like to have that. So globally, women get access to 1% to 2% of procurement contracts. And even for things like funding, in the MENA region this summer, we received 0.1% of all funding given to businesses. So unfortunately, as much as we would like to say that it's equal, it's not. So we're doing a lot of work on that, on being able to support women to get better access to that.
Absolutely. I see Houda and Janaika nodding their heads quite a lot here. It's obviously running your own business is something that includes a lot of highs, but also a lot of lows. Houda, can you tell me a little bit about your background in business and how you came to know about Female Fusion?
So I started my business 8 years ago. After 16 years in the corporate world, I've had enough of working for another person and making them money from 9 until 9 p.m. And I had 2 young children at that time. I said, that's it, I need to do something for myself. So I identified the gap in the market where there was either the big digital agencies that charge a lot or the very, very low ones that do not have a clue of what they do. So I trained myself in the business. I got certification. I was an intern in a digital agency elsewhere than Dubai. So I learned the hard way. And then I came back and I opened my agency and there was no looking back. That's how, and then I had the freedom to bring my two young daughters to the office with me. I have a couch set up with the TV. They can just sit there and watch TV while I supervise and I do my work. So that was actually why I started my business, because I was sick of the corporate world. And Female Fusion, I was one of the first people to join Jen in her journey as a founding member, and it has been tremendous for my business growth. Met so many ladies that became friends, business clients, mentors. Jen is my mentor, and when I'm stuck in something, I just send her a WhatsApp, and she's there. She drops everything, and she really picks up the phone and like, girl, let's go get a coffee, and we sit and we talk, and that's invaluable for me, because she has more experience than me in the business, and she has been a great support to the growth of my business.
And tell me a little bit more about those initial emotions when you do start your own business. That can be a very lonely experience.
It is.
And having something like Female Fusion as a community of people with all different types of strengths and skill sets, can you take me through some of the collaborations that have been a really key or pinnacle moment in changing the direction of your business for you?
Definitely. So, for example, when I started out of my living room. Alone. I was just going after the trade license. So at that time when I opened in 2014. It wasn't as easy as now to get a trade license, being an Arab woman. So you need to go through a 6 months process of checks before I got my license. So that time I was home sitting and setting up my business, starting to get a little bit of ideas what I'm going to do, how I'm going to set up my processes and all that. And then I joined Female Fusion about that time, or even before, when it was still a Facebook group. I was one, and I was just asking questions, where can I get this? And they give you an answer. There is about 20,000 members. So whatever question you have, you find on that group. So that guided me as well. And I hired a couple of people from Female Fusion also that are or were my employees. And also business collaboration with other like event companies or influencer companies or even PR companies. So we go to big clients together as a bigger entity. I'm a boutique agency. We are 12 people in total. So sometimes government, they want to see a bigger team. So you collaborate with another business and you go as a stronger team. So, and I found most of them in Female Fusion.
It's fantastic to hear, and incredible as well, Jen, to see the community that you've created and the tangible result that it's actually had for so many women as well.
It is, and it's something every single morning I wake up and honestly think, what is it that we can do today to help women in business? Because it is so powerful that when we are able to help their businesses grow, it adds so much for people personally, but also to the economy and to the society. And so that means a lot to us. And I feel very proud of every single one of our businesses to see how they can grow as well.
Oh, definitely well deserved. I'll come back to you in just a moment, but Janaika, I want to hear a little bit more about your story. You've got an interesting Dutch Peruvian background. Urban Nest is how old now?
So Urban Nest is now 5.5 years old. And it started with the roots exactly. So Janaika, I'm Dutch Peruvian, name is Peruvian. And I wanted to, when I was starting to do my own home a few years ago, it was difficult to find things that I liked that were as per my aesthetic, my taste for my home. And I started researching, looking in malls. I couldn't find it. At the time, I was working in logistics for a multinational, so the idea of importing and distributing was natural to me. And then I thought, why not bring those brands that I love and that I stand for, that are ethical, that have good values, that are unique, and bring them to the Middle East. And that's how the idea of Urban Nest came. So urban in a city, but nest as in coziness, textiles, with a minimal look. So that was the story. And actually the textures are mainly Peruvian textures. So they're colorful, they're handmade. And that's how I wanted to bring an Urban Nest to Dubai. And it's been 5 years and a great journey, luckily.
Fantastic. And of those 5 years, how long have you been a member of Female Fusion for?
So I was a bit of a spy on the general group. I was always looking and reading other people, what they were doing. And then I saw that there was an option to become a member. And I joined the Female Fusion a year ago. And very, very happy that I did that, because I realized there's only so much you can do alone. You get caught up in the operations. As an entrepreneur, every day is just like operations, this happens, challenges, you wake up, you don't know what's going to happen, and you get really caught up in that in your day-to-day. Yeah. But it's when you are part of like the female fusion circle, I realized, oh, there's other people that have the same challenges. You need to plan, you need to prepare, and there's a lot of training to help you get to that next level, because there's only so far you can get by yourself and your hard work and your effort. At a certain point, you do need to become more strategic. You do need to get involved in things as investment funding, and to scale up your business so that it actually becomes, let's say, a bigger business. You cannot do that alone. And luckily within the circle, I found a lot of different training options. I recently joined the budget planning, because financials was never my strong point. I'm good in logistics, but financials is always, So that really helped me to push, to plan ahead, to really look at my numbers. And yeah, that's been super helpful for me. And of course, as Houda mentioned, all the collaborations. I've had a lot of cross-collaboration with fashion brands, other sustainable brands, and that's been really great.
Fantastic. And you've obviously been able to grow your company in the last 5 years. What are your future hopes or aspirations? Do you think that being part of a community like Female Fusion has given you access to women who have been a little bit ahead or a bit more successful than you, and seeing that example and also that mentorship has allowed you to perhaps dream a little bigger than you did 5 years ago?
Well, luckily, like even today, just sitting with Houda, we were talking. I've been focused on opening a showroom recently and having a physical place where people can come. And my next step is really to focus on the digital side of it. We have an online store and we have Instagram, but that also only reaches so far organically. So we're now looking, okay, how do we bring our website to the next level and bring it across the GCC? And how do we go against, like with Google Words and SEO? And then, of course, today the opportunity comes to sit next to Houda. So we are already like, okay, let's meet after. Let's set up something and see how we can collaborate and how Houda can support me to bring the online to the next level.
And this is, again, one of the best things about Female Fusion. It's the opportunities, the networking. Once we go to a networking event, there are so many people that you don't know what you're going to start. I was like, last networking event, when was the last networking event? I sat with a woman, and now she's my photographer.
Oh, wow.
So whenever I need something to be done, she's there.
Yeah.
So, and she's giving me a very decent price, so we can use her for a lot of things. And that's the beauty of what Jen has created. Mm-hmm. It's really unique, because when you go to just a normal networking event, people are there mainly to push their business cards on you. Mm-hmm. They are not interested. They just want to talk and give you the card and go. And Female Fusion is not like that. We have sit downs, we sit, we do a lot of things together. So, and some of my best friends now I met in Female Fusion as well.
That's incredible.
And not because she's sitting here, but, but that's really, some of my best friends now in Dubai are from Female Fusion. That's where I met them.
So this common theme as well that kind of brings us all together. And as I look out across the beautiful window, we've got a vista here of downtown Dubai with various hotels and of course the Burj Khalifa. What I want to ask to you then, Jen, is we all call Dubai home, and for a lot of us we come from different parts of the world, but we all have this want or this desire to make something of ourselves. Take me through then a little bit about the diversity that you see within the Female Fusion network, and also how perhaps that's changed over the last few years, because obviously we've had a huge amount of legislative change and financial change that's happened here within Dubai, and probably more than ever in our past, it's now easier to set up a business, especially for female entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. Well, I think with our members in the UAE, it's basically a mirror of what you see in this country. And so we don't have any dominant nationalities. We don't have any cliques where certain nationalities are together. And that's one of the things that I love, is that it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what your background is, what your religion, what your culture is, that there's a place for you. And you can walk in the door and you come to any event, whether it's in person or if it's online, and you will feel like you belong. And that's really important to me, because there's nothing worse than going somewhere, like we all know, if we've been to networking things and you walk in and you just feel so awkward and so uncomfortable. And I don't think that we've ever had any meetups ever where people feel that way, because as I always say, that we are a community of nice women. And, you know, if you're nice and if you're kind and if you have good intentions towards people, it's a place for you. And it genuinely is. You see a real difference in our members, that they come from a place of service. Like, I've seen all of our members offer to help somebody else and not say, well, I'll help you, but I'm going to charge you. It's very much, I want to support you because I know what it's like getting started. And so there's very much that sense of community and collaboration. And I travel a lot and I meet women around the world. And a lot of female entrepreneurs are always like, how can I join? Your community sounds amazing. Because they're like, you know, we don't have this locally. And I think one thing that we're very privileged of in the UAE is because nobody belongs except for UAE nationals, that we all kind of come together in a way that maybe you wouldn't in separate cities. But when I talk to female entrepreneurs in other cities, they say, but I want to connect with women around the world and I want to be able to do business with them. And so we're really looking as well about how we can bring the world to the UAE, but then we can also make the world accessible to our members so they can get more opportunities for business. Because the world, now that we're digital, you can do anything. You can access people and have clients and customers all over the world. So that's what we really want to be able to do, is have our platform to help our members basically make more money. Because at the end of the day, you know, business is not a charity. We are in business to make money, and we want our members to be able to leverage Female Fusion to make more money, whether it's learning how to run your business better and being more successful and profitable that way, or getting connections to people who will buy from you, or where you can source products at a lower price, or find people who will invest in you. Any of that. That's what we see the power of Female Fusion.
And you also noted that you've got obviously an online platform where people can access this type of information as well. What do you see are the most highly searched for terms or areas of support that female entrepreneurs are looking for?
So we're very much a digital business. So we have an online portal which basically has over 100 different masterclasses, templates, topics, anything that you need to run a business, whether you're just starting out or you're dealing with bigger challenges with a 7 or 8 figure business, we have it covered. And that's also internationally relevant and also locally relevant as well. So we have a local portal which has a lot of local information. And then we also have our communities. So we have an online community where people can network in smaller circles and communicate with each other that way. And then we also do have Facebook where we run things as well. But it's very digital, and so it means that no matter where you are in the world, that you're able to connect and do business and find your support and friends anywhere in the world that would help you build and grow your business.
Absolutely. Can I turn the attention just back to Houda and Janaika for a second? You're obviously females that are running your business, part of the Female Fusion network here in Dubai. We've been through COVID. What have been the kind of biggest lessons that you've learnt from the hardships of the last few years and moving forward, giving us a moment perhaps to reflect on everything that you've achieved and everything that you've learned in the last few years? Can you share some of your lessons as female entrepreneurs with our audience?
Definitely. Yeah, want to start? So for me, what I learned is that anyone who didn't have an e-commerce website raced to have an e-commerce website.
Okay, with COVID.
With COVID.
Okay.
So we had the better turnover during COVID than I had last year, for example.
Okay.
Because everyone wanted to go digital, everyone needed to be found on Google AdWords, everyone wanted to do SEO, everyone needed an online marketplace because they closed shop, basically. So that the other thing that I learned from COVID is that finding very good employees that you can rely on is very difficult in Dubai. It's unfortunately, you have job opportunities open, but people come with some crazy expectations without having the knowledge.
Okay.
And that is one of the things that really need to be worked on upon here, because I have vacancies now, but I can't fill them up. They come, yeah, I know everything. Once you want to try them, Where are the skills on your CV? Show me that. So, and it's difficult to do it online then during COVID, especially to hire people, because we had a lot of business to find the right resources without giving them a try. At least now they can come, they can sit, give them a task. If they don't know how to do it, that's it. But online, that was the challenge for me. So, but what I learned also is to diversify, because a lot of my clients went bankrupt and a lot of other friends of mine went bankrupt. Don't put your eggs in the same basket. You need to have different revenue streams. In case something happens, you need to be able to survive.
Okay, great advice there.
Luckily for me, I had the same. So during COVID, everybody was at home, and of course, busy decorating their home. So it was a great same that everything. There was very crucial to have e-commerce and also the social media channels, that it was so important. And being a small company, we had that edge that we were not in a mall. We did have already everything set up, and you realize that finally we moved to e-commerce where you could really catch more people, and it wasn't necessary to have a physical location.
And that showed us also that we can have remote workers as well. Like, I have a team based a little bit everywhere in the world. I have people in Serbia, I have people in India, I have people in Lebanon, and they're all full-timers with me, but I don't need them in the office as long as they produce what they need. That's also a very good lesson during the pandemic, that you do not need to have everyone under one roof. So that's also less expenses for business owners. When you think about it from a business perspective, makes a lot of sense, because to get visas is pretty expensive for a startup, and to get an office space and all that. So you can have a license and have your employees sitting anywhere else. Now I have a VA in Scotland. How amazing is that, you know?
Incredible.
So that's also a lesson that I learned, that you do not need people to be in the office for them to be productive.
Okay, fantastic. It's amazing to hear the bits of expertise and the advice that you've both been able to share with us today. And also the fact that you can just see a collaboration coming to life, kind of the pinnacle of what you're talking about that happens within the female fusion community as well. Jen, just to kind of close off this conversation, although I could kind of go on all day with you, take me through then a little bit, first of all, if we have female entrepreneurs that are listening, perhaps they've got that idea in their head and they really want to take the jump and get into it. What advice would you have for first-time female entrepreneurs specifically?
So first-time female entrepreneurs, first of all, I would say being an entrepreneur is fabulous. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I've been an entrepreneur for about 22 years now, and it's been great to give me those opportunities to be able to be a bit more flexible with my work and to do what I want to do. Because as my parents said to me, I could never be employed by somebody else because I didn't like authority. So it's always good to be my own boss. But what's really important is also to know as well that it's not easy. And if you want to set up a business, you have to be prepared to work incredibly hard and know that you are not going to most likely make any money for a good couple of years. And it's really important to be able to pay yourself a salary, but it's also important to know that you are going to have the finances to invest in your business to be able to build a business and grow a business. So when I see people say, I want to set up a business, but I don't have any money, then now is not the right time to set up a business, because with all the love in the world, it costs money. And it costs money, it costs time, and you want to be able to have that time to maybe work and save some money so you can set up that business. Also as well, if you are setting up a business, make sure that you do it properly and get the right information and the right advice. And do not set up your business until you have everything ready to go. So I see a lot of people spend a lot of money getting their business registered or licensed, and then they're not ready to trade. And if you're not ready to trade, why are you spending the money licensing your business? So make sure that you have your business plan in place. You ideally have already found some customers who are going to buy from you. So it's going to make that journey a lot easier.
Yeah, some really solid advice there. And just finally, Jen, what are the plans in the next few years with Female Fusion?
We have so many plans. So one of the first things that's happening is our membership. So our membership, you can join twice a year. So we will be opening the doors for our membership at the end of February 2023. Up until the 10th of March, you can join. That's going to be the last time that people can join on the low price that we have, because we do offer so much and so many opportunities for business owners that the price is going up for the next time after that. But we are also really focusing on going global, because we realize that giving access to markets, to people internationally, is great for our businesses in the UAE. And it's also great to introduce the UAE market to other entrepreneurs, because I truly believe that this is one of the best countries in the world to have a business. And as a woman, we have so many opportunities for our businesses. And to be able to show that to people around the world is really exciting. So we are looking at having a number of female fusion ambassadors around the world, and we have signed up some from a number of different countries, so it will just increase the opportunities for our members.
Amazing. Well, I can't wait to see what is coming next for all of you. Jen, Houda, and also Janaika, thank you so much for joining me on the Rove podcast today. We look forward to the continued success of obviously Female Fusion, as well as Younoh Media and Urban Nest. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Anna.
Thanks for having us.